of a pandemic, who doesn't need something yummy and delicious that we call comfort food? And when we're feeling like this, when we need something to lift us up, to help us just feel a little better in the moment, do we think that we can get something that's going to be healthy? My bet is that's not where you're going. So let me show you how it can be. How comfort food.
Boo says, hope you don't get too much snow.
Thank you. But how food can be delicious, comforting, heart healthy, and consistent with your goals. For those of you who are new to my channel, not Boo because you're my rock star, let me say welcome. My name is Debbie Kravitsky. I'm a registered dietitian. I've been a clinical dietitian for over 30 years. Currently, I work at Mass General Hospital's Cardiovascular Disease Prevention Center. I also have a private practice that I offer through Zoom. If this interests you, you can email me at Debbie, D-E-B-B-I-E, .Kravitsky, K-R-I, V as in Victor, I-T-S-K-Y, at gmail.com, and we can arrange a time for us to meet through Zoom. And I can provide you with an individually tailored nutrition plan for you to help you to meet your dietary goals. I've also appeared in television. I've appeared in national publications such as Harper's Bazaar, Family Circle magazine, and I also consult with many corporations. It gives me my greatest pleasure to provide you with accurate, evidence-based nutrition information that's current so that you can reach your dietary goals. Together, we will shop, we will cook, and I will navigate the way. So here's to comfort food tonight. Everybody join me and let me know if these look good to you.
Tom Moynihan says hi.
Tom, I'm so glad. Let me know if you're still in Florida.
Rosemary is on and she's making your roasted chicken tonight.
Oh, Rosemary, that's awesome. You're going to let me know how it comes out. That is so good. That chicken recipe has gone around a little bit. Everybody I know who has made it, and I'm so happy when I hear that you're making it. So you'll let me know. So,
Richard K. says hello, Debbie.
how are you? Nice to have you on. And I think, when I think of a hearty comfort food, I often think of melted cheese. Tell me if that works for you. And one of the beauties of this is that when I find new products that I think are delicious and yet heart healthy, I can share them with you. So take a look, see if you can zoom in over here.
And Tom is still in Florida.
Oh, hi Tom, go you. There's nothing like a palm tree in the middle of the winter. I love it. Does that look delicious to you guys? Do you see that melty cheese? Let me tell you how I made this. I took the Baby Bell light cheese, these are whole wheat orchietti, and I took, look at this. So here's my orchietti. I love, as many of you know.
Christina Nikita's to die. She says to die for.
Well, Christina, I know, and that is why. So this is Delalo. I'm so glad it looks so good to you. This is Delalo. They have a whole wheat pasta line. I find them delicious, and because they don't really taste whole wheaty, which is just what I was looking for, but they are whole grain. I get them at Shaw's or at Wegmans. These are the orchietti. Orchietti are these buffalo ears. You can see, because they can see how that can coat and take and scoop up the cheese. Look at this. Oh my gosh, is that so good? See how it can scoop up the cheese? So that's exactly what I'm looking for. Look at that. Isn't that, oh my gosh, that smells comfort to me. And it's just made with a combination of Baby Bell cheese and also Cabot. This is my new fave. I love
Christina Nikita says how many Baby Bells?
So you'll use, I'm making for a family of 4. If you're making for 1, you'll use 1 or 2. If you're making for 4, I used the 6, the package. But I also added, my family likes it very cheesy. So this is Cabot. They have a 75% light cheddar cheese. I think it is delicious. 1.5 grams of saturated fat in a serving. Remember our serving size, the number for saturated fat is 2. At 1.5, I am good to go. That is a winner, and the taste was divine. So this is great. I could also add to this, if I wanted to, my garlic and herb Laughing Cow cheese, or I could crumble in the spicy pepper jack, whatever I wanted, or the cheddar. Any flavor of this would also work in there. I did add a little of I Can't Believe
James
It.
says, hi, I haven't joined in a while, but I like the new format with your video helper. Thank you, James.
Yeah, my helper says thank you. Isn't that great? Well, I'm so glad we have the new format because of all of you, because I had to reach 1,000 subscribers. And if you haven't done so, James, if you could hit the subscribe button, that would be greatly appreciated. It gives me freedom to continue to do more things, and it tells YouTube that I'm on track doing the right thing. And that I should continue. And many times I often question, frankly, if I should or not, and so that helps me. I'm using I Can't Believe It's Not Butter spread. I added that to add a little richness and creaminess to the dinner.
Flores J78 says, hi, Debbie. I never had Baby Bells. That looks good. Must try one day.
I am so glad you're on. How are you? Good to have you aboard. Now, to this, you could make this in many different ways. You could season this with a little garlic if you wanted. I didn't this time, but you certainly could. You could add some chicken or fish or whatever you wanted for extra protein and added texture. You also could add some vegetables to this to displace some of the calories from the pasta. And if you wanted to, you could make a little breadcrumb topping. This is whole wheat breadcrumbs that I added parsley and some fresh garlic and a little oil to bring it together. And I could put this.
Angela says, hi, my beautiful friend Deb. Miss our classes.
I know, Angela. I do too. But I'm so glad that at least we can stay connected through this. So I'm so grateful to you to join in tonight. So we can talk to each other, and in this way at least stay together. But this could be sprinkled over the top if you wanted to, just like this. And then if you wanted to, you could pop it in the oven. It would add a little texture and a little crunch, and it would be yummy. You also could make these in individual gratin dishes or individual serving sizes, and then you would have a little bit more portion control. But look how yummy. Tell me, isn't that comfort food? You let me know. And that is completely heart healthy. So that is exactly what we're looking for. Speaking of comfort food, if I'm going to take you over to the table, okay, to the table over here, and I'm going to show you some yummy, yummy treats. I think if I came home at the end of the day, you let me know, and Valentine's Day is a-coming. So if you wanted to do this for somebody, if they came home and there was a board waiting for them filled with delicious, heart-healthy treats and a cold drink, either a cold glass of mineral water, sparkling mineral water, or whatever you were having, and then you could have a board like this with nuts, dried apricots, fresh fruit, Baby Bells, Laughing Cows. These are the Wasta crackers. I happen to love them, but my husband doesn't. So I have the Triscuit Thin Crisps here for him. There's that cheddar by Cabot that I just showed you in the package. And what a fun assortment. Let me know if that would give you joy if you came home and you found that. Now, the other, I'm just checking because I have more treats for you. My daughter always says to me I should edit myself, but I have a hard time doing that, actually, because I get so excited because I have so many fun ideas that I want to share with you. So this is, I also think a warm potato dish is also, when I think of comfort food, that's what I think of. This is a potato galette. Let me know how that looks to you, and I'll tell you how I made it. I took a mandolin. Can you guys see this? Let me know what you think. I have cut it into fours because I have 4 people in my family. I certainly could have made it smaller. And what this basically is one, it's interesting. If I was to ask any of you, which food do you think is the highest in potassium? I want you to write in and let me know. What food you think is the highest in potassium? And the reason why we want to include potassium in our diet is where sodium constricts blood vessels and then raises blood pressure because it puts tremendous pressure on your heart to pump through a stiffer opening. So it raises blood pressure and increases stroke risk. Potassium does the opposite. Potassium will relax those blood vessels. To show you how to lower your blood pressure and therefore reduce your stroke risks, we want to encourage people to include foods high in potassium. So I want to ask you.
Angela says potatoes are her weakness, and Tom says that looks great.
I'm so glad. That's awesome. Thank you. And let me know which foods you think will give you the most potassium. What would you say is the highest for potassium? I'm going to wait to hear that from you. But I'm going to show you, as you're writing in, I'm going to just show you some more fun things. This is my Fayet dip. So I'm going to grab the Fayet so you can see what I have here. And I'm also going to grab the Triscuit Thin Crisp. Because I always want to show you the products in the packages so you can know how to get them and you'll recognize them when you're
Nelson
in the
Bracero
store.
says hi.
Hi, how are you? I'm so glad you're on. This is Triscuit Thin Crisps. I love them. They're just yummy. They give me great crunch, relatively low in sodium, no added sugar, and it will give me 4 grams of fiber. So 5 for fiber, 3 to 5 is high
Nelson
fiber.
says good, thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. So this is high fiber, and it also gives me 25 grams of whole grain in a serving. 16 are a serving. At 25, I'm getting almost a serving and a half for 15 crackers. So they made
Hold up the box again.
So Triscuit Thin Crisps are a great way to go. I happen to like them either plain or with the Laughing Cow cheese.
Flores says fiber is your friend.
You know what? Now you're just making me proud. I always say if I can teach you anything, it's that fiber is your friend. Awesome. Go you. That was Rockstar. This is the dip that I love to make. It's made with the Greek yogurt Fayet Zero. Fayet I give it the gold star for yogurts because it has the most protein and no added anything. And as it tastes a lot like sour cream, it's very rich, it's thick, creamy. Let me know if any of you are eating sour cream, but I'm waiting to hear about the potassium. I mix this with a little bit of mayonnaise, a little bit of Italian dressing. I take a microplane zester and I zest a fresh garlic clove over the top. So
Tom
that I get
says
the zest.
he made fresh guacamole and he thinks avocados are good potassium.
Yes, they are. But the highest, Tom, and go you for playing with me, is potato. So most people, which is interesting, will say banana. I can't tell you how many people say I'm eating a banana because of the potassium. But it isn't banana, it is a white baked potato. So Angela, where you think you have a weakness, it's okay to include the potato. Make sure you eat the skin. That's a good thing.
Janice says good evening and Nelson says potato.
Yay! Go Nelson and hi Janice. All good. So I grated these. I used a mandolin and I did the long julienne to get longer slices. But you could do it if you have a food processor. Just put that julienne blade on. And all I did was put a little oil in an 8-inch skillet. And I put these shredded, as I shredded the potatoes, I put them in a bowl of water, cold water, so that they wouldn't turn brown. When I was ready to cook, I just put them in a paper towel or a dish towel and squeeze out that extra water. Put about a tablespoon or so of oil, just a little drizzle, in your pan, and then put the potatoes in and let them go undisturbed for about 5 minutes. When you can see they're brown on the underside, you just flip it. Do the same thing on the other side. How awesome is that? I didn't use any salt. So at the very end, I did sprinkle a little salt on the top, but you don't need to. I didn't have any salt in the cooking. Potatoes don't have a ton of flavor on their own, but they are creamy and delicious. So to top them, I made this Fayet dip. The recipe should be on the Facebook page. If you can't find it, contact me and I will give it to you. It's just a clove of garlic that I microplaned in and added some garlic powder, some onion powder, some scallions and chives. It's beyond. Now I could have easily, this can serve many uses. It can go here to top potato. It can go on the board if I wanted to dip, and I had some fresh veggies on here as well, because fiber, you are totally right, fiber is your friend. And let me show you my next fun, delicious treat for you. Okay, what do you think, talking about cheese? Look at that, what do you think? Isn't that yummy, yummy, yummy? Now we have Super Bowl coming up. And so Super Bowl means nachos oftentimes. So these are my nachos.
Christina Nikita says, oh my God.
I know. We're just having fun. Because
Tom said that's going on his Super Bowl menu.
There you go. Now let me tell you how
Nelson says, wow.
Wow. So let me tell you how I made these. The way I made this was I took the Baby Bell. I took a boxed grater. You know what I'm talking about? Let me know if you don't. But and I'll go grab mine. But it's just a boxed grater. I took those Baby Bell and I very easily, you got it? And I very easily went up and down and I grated my Baby Bells. And that's what's there. I put a little bit of the cheddar after I tried the cheddar and I thought it was delicious. You can see the cheddar. The squares are a little different shape. And unbelievable. Is that not comfort food? Now to go with these, just to show you, I'm going to grab my tray first. You know, we do this live audition with the dietitian. So let me just see how this can work. Perfect is how it can work. Oh my gosh, you guys, what do you think? I wish you were here. I would totally share. And with this, I think you need some freshness. So with this, I'm going to give you some fresh salsa. So how fun
Flora
is this?
says, looks yummy.
Looks yummy, yay. So let me tell you how I made this. And you can do this many ways. You can take this fresh salsa if you wanted to. You can leave it there for your guests or for you to do, you know, any family members to do. There's no guests anymore. Or you could just put a little bit on each of, you know, scatter it around and it would be delicious. Now let me show you how you could also do nachos if you wanted to, and you also can use this dip. So this dip can go for that as well. But this to me is comfort food. We also have Valentine's Day coming up, so I wanted to cover Super Bowl as well as Valentine's Day. And I always have fresh fruit platters. I always have crudité platters. This would go with crudité platters. This would go with the salsa.
Christina says, are those Triscuit Thins?
The Triscuit Thin Crisps. So here, see, Christina, this is what they look like. I think it's so important to see the package so that when you're in the store, you'll recognize these foods. And let me show you the nachos that I used. These are by Late July. Have you guys seen these in the store? I'm going to guess that you have. These Late July, it's the company that makes Cape Cod potato chips. Now, what's so good about them is that when you look at the ingredients, the first, remember, you'll know it's a whole grain. We want whole grains to reduce the belly fat and to reduce inflammation. And we need to know by seeing the word whole. This, when we look here, you see the word whole corn.
Can you flatten it out a little bit?
Is that better?
I think so. Can you, hold on, angle it towards me? Yeah. There we go. Yep, we got it.
And when a company has something to brag about, they'll pay that whole wheat council. And you can see there's the stamp, and in the stamp is a number. It's the number of servings of whole grain you'll get. And when I look here, it's 21, and that means 21 grams. 16 we just said is a serving. At 21, we're getting about a serving and a half, which is great. Little under serving and a half, but more than a serving. And you can also see in this yellow stamp the 100% logo. You see that? That means all of the carbohydrate in that chip is whole grain. There's nothing else in there in terms of the carbohydrate except for whole grain, which is great. So that's how you're going to know how you're doing. So this is a great chip that you can include that's heart healthy. Just so you know, you can always make pita chips on your own. If you look at my holiday show, that you'll find that I made homemade tortilla chips. You can look at that. I made it with everything but the bagel sesame seasoning. Take a look at that. You also can put grilled cheese in a pocket. Look at how to make grilled cheese 3 ways. And you could always do triangles with whole wheat pocket bread and melted Baby Bell cheese in the middle, and that would, or this cheddar, which would be delicious, and that would also be yummy. But fill in with delicious fiber, veggies, some fresh fruit, and some lean protein, and you're on your way.
Tom says, what is the cheddar from Cabot?
Oh, delicious. Let me show you again, because I thought I thought I would give it a try. Frankly, I wasn't sure, but I thought I'll never know unless I try. So that's why I did.
It's upside down.
It's upside down. So this is the Cabot 75 Light. It's their sharp cheddar. Only 1.5 grams. Remember, our number is 2. This only has 1.5 grams of saturated fat. That's a good thing. Good. So, Tom, I got this in a regular market, and I think you can get it anywhere. I'm trying to remember, actually. Do you remember where we bought this?
Sudbury? Roach Brothers?
Maybe I think we got it at Roach Brothers. And I'll tell you how we got this, because the story is kind of interesting. Let me know if this has happened to any of you guys. You know, we're during COVID time, so not everything is always available. Better now than ever, thank goodness. But I went to get more Baby Bell cheeses. I wanted to make sure that I had enough for you. Now, compound a pandemic with an impending snowstorm.
Susan says, thanks for the Cabot. Light will look for it. Tom says, awesome. I'm on board with that cheddar. Publix has it here.
Oh, that's fabulous. Oh, that's great. Aren't you lucky, Tom? That's wonderful. So because there was both a pandemic and a snowstorm, impending snowstorm. So Tom, you missed quite a snowstorm, just so you know. Nothing. So we're coming to Florida. I didn't really appreciate the fact that people would be shopping, and that there wouldn't be anything left in the market. So when I got to Sudbury Farms, there was no more Baby Bell. Who knew that would be the thing that would go? But empty, shelf empty. But I needed cheese for the live stream. So what did they have? They had cabbage.
James says, can I plug a product? Backyard Garlic from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. It's dehydrated garlic in a grinder, and you sprinkle it on food.
I love that. I love that, James. That's the beauty of this live stream, is that we're all in it together, so tips like that are fabulous. Thanks, James. Do you know I love garlic? I put it in everything.
You have to read the comments fast, because otherwise they disappear.
Oh.
Angela says, going off track, but which is better, liquid egg whites or egg beaters?
Either one. Same. They're both good. Great questions. I love them. Yeah, you can always keep them coming. So I'll stop talking anytime a question comes up, because I love the questions. You guys are fabulous.
She says, okay, thanks.
Anytime, Angela. And you can use the egg whites or the egg beaters to make those muffin cup, the egg McMuffins, you know, the way I make. You can look at one of the videos on that as well. But this is the cheese. It was fabulous. Somebody asked me, by the way, on a side funny note, a physician who came through to ask me how much I get for sponsorship from these companies, and not a dime, unfortunately. But I really love to promote products when I see that they're good, like this Cabot cheese. But isn't this, you tell me how I did. This is all delicious comfort food that's heart healthy, but make sure you put in a platter of veggies. You know, make sure that you round this out. These are just some dishes that would complement other dishes as you're looking for some comfort during these winter months. All right, I don't know who you're rooting for in the Super Bowl, but that should be a good game.
Is the butter used the light version?
I didn't, but you could. You could. I use, personally, for me, I use the spray butter so that I get rid of the calories completely. For my family, they use the regular spread, but we could have done the light just as easily.
Janice says everything looks good, and she likes the dried garlic too.
Yeah, oh, she does too. Yeah, I also have some dried garlic flakes. It comes, and I put some in here, actually, a little bit more, and it just comes in a jar. I got it at a local farm, and I love it. But good for you, Janice. You're doing that too. Makes sense. The salsa.
James says, "Are you rooting for TB and Grunk? Are you mad at them for leaving?"
No,
that's a great question.
It is such a great question. I have to tell you, I'm not mad at him at all. I don't really think this was. I don't think this was his doing. But on the other hand, part of me feels like it's an old boyfriend that I'm kind of rooting. But I hope he does well. I never count him out. I hope he does well. But I think that Mahomes is the up and coming. So it'll be a good game. You can't predict on this one, although many have.
Blair says, who is eating all your delicious food? And he's rooting for Tom Brady.
Thank you. Oh, that's good. Good to know. My son is a Tom Brady fan as well, and he'll be rooting for him as well. The food normally goes, who knows, but tonight it's going to go to my family. Let me show you my fresh salsa. Look at this. Isn't this? Tell me what you think of this. All right, now I'll show you how you can do this many ways. These are plum tomatoes. I seeded them and just minced them a little bit, chopped them up. And then I put a white onion, and I also minced that, and a jalapeno pepper that I seeded because I
Nelson says enjoy.
And thank you. I drizzled with a little olive oil, a little lime juice, and that's it. And it is good to go. If I wanted to, I could add avocado. My family loves avocado. I am not an avocado lover, so for me, since I was the cook, I left it out. But we could definitely add it in. If you wanted to kick up your nachos a bit, you could add crab meat. You could add lobster. You could add shrimp. Yum, yum, yum. Delish. So enjoy, everybody.
So are you not rooting for the Buccaneers?
I'm going to watch the game and stay neutral. Part of me goes one way. I'm totally split. I have to tell you. I think that Mahomes is amazing, but I never, anybody who's been a Patriots fan with Tom Brady can never count Tom Brady out.
Flora says it looks like Spanish food, and Janice says no.
No to what, Janice? That you can't count him out? Or no that it doesn't look like Spanish food? But I think that this is delicious. These boards, by the way, took no prep at all. And I think it would make anybody feel very special and fun to come home to a treat like that.
Nelson says it's healthy food.
It's all healthy food, right? And the thing is that you want to make sure that when you're eating healthy...
Janice says Patriots is the team.
Right, I always go Janice. But the thing is, you want to feel comforted. You don't want to feel like you're sabotaging your goals. You don't want to have any guilt associated with it. But you want to feel like you're having a treat and sometimes a little indulgent. And you can and still be heart healthy and stay on track. And these are the ways to do it. On Valentine's Day, you can have some delicious sweets. Look at my video on how to make yummy, heart-healthy treats. You could use some dark chocolate. It'd be wonderful.
Tom says your family is eating well tonight. Enjoy.
Thank you. Yes, they are. And they very much appreciate, as I also appreciate them. So it's great. I hope you guys are staying safe. Any questions or comments, let me know.
James says recommendation for a Super Bowl drink.
Great one, James. If you're if you're having an alcoholic beverage, I would make sure a couple of things. Alcohol lowers your blood sugars. You need to eat when you drink.
James says alcohol.
Alcohol. So, an interesting story with the alcohol. They just came out with new dietary guidelines. They come out with new guidelines every 5 years. So, they just came out with some. And when they formulate these guidelines, they first gather a group of esteemed scientists and researchers who then based on research, will make recommendations to an FDA panel.
Christina Nikita said tried hash browns from Whole Foods, frozen potatoes, sweet potatoes, and carrots.
Oh, yum. I will try that. That sounds good. It's already done. Yeah, these were fresh Idaho potatoes, so anytime. But the dietary guidelines, the advisory panel told them to make sure to lower the recommended intake for alcohol for men. Currently, it was no more than 2 alcoholic beverages a day for a man and no more than 1 for a woman. And they said, no, we think because of the cancer risk and the stress on the heart, you should lower the recommendation to no more than 1 alcoholic beverage a day for both men and women. And the FDA panel, who can
Flora says he gave up alcohol and drugs, smoking for 12 years. I'm sober and happy.
Oh, I love that. Go you. It shows you when you put your mind to something, you stick to it. That's rock star behavior. Go you. Champion warrior. Awesome. But anyway, the panel, who can be influenced by many things, did not go along with the guidelines and kept it. It's no more than 2 alcoholic beverages a day for a man and no more than 1 for a woman. But keep in mind, it's 12 ounces of beer, 1.5 ounces straight alcohol, and 4 or 5 ounces of wine. And you need to eat when you drink. If you are having 2
He says,
alcoholic
"Thank you,
beverages,
Debbie."
you're welcome. If you're having 2,
And James says, "Congrats."
right. So if you're having 2 beverages, don't have them consecutively. It's too much stress on the heart. Have one, have water, and have the second.
But what beverages would you recommend? Like a light beer?
That would be fine. Anything. It doesn't matter. Just don't, if you're doing don't do a mixed drink with a lot of juice, because the juice is at sugar. And be mindful that these alcohol also adds a lot of calories. That for every gram of fat's the most concentrated source of calories we have. You get 9 grams. Alcohol burns a little differently than anybody else, but comes in closest to fat at 7 calories per gram. These calories add up fast. And calories we drink, we don't get the same satisfaction as we do from the chew, which means we don't realize we took in these calories, and they can add up fast.
I heard vodka's low in calories.
Vodka is low in calories, but be mindful what you have it with. So just be careful of that. Anybody on Lipitor, make sure no grapefruit or grapefruit juice. As many people mix vodka and grapefruit juice. So be mindful of those things, particularly when having alcohol. When you cut the alcohol, it'll be interesting to know if you lost some weight just by cutting those calories as well. So that's a good thing. Go you. That's excellent. That is really good. Fabulous. And make sure when you're watching a Super Bowl game that you're mindful of what you are eating, that if you're getting caught up in the game and you don't realize what you ate, then you can take in a lot of calories that you didn't account for. So eat maybe in between at commercials, or use commercial time to get up, walk around. Remember, you don't want to eat like a linebacker. There's already one on the field. You want to eat like the athletes that they are, so that you stay fit, stay toned, get a workout on that day. Use that kind of mentality to channel your inner athlete so that you stay heart healthy. But be mindful during the game of what you're eating. Want to hear something interesting really quick? And that is that if you were to guess when most heart attacks happen, just throwing it out there, one would be during a snowstorm when people are shoveling. It's a perfect storm. The stress of the shovel, the coldness that stresses the muscle, tightens your muscle, and the weight of the snow. This is a perfect storm for a heart attack. And most people shoveling will have a heart event. So no shoveling. If any of you have had heart events, no shoveling at all. You get the pass. And also the second time would be after a Super Bowl. Isn't that stunning? And people whose team lost eat more saturated fat the next day and more refined carbohydrates the next day, and more people call out sick the next day than if your team had won. Very interesting, isn't it? Being a Patriots fan, and we're not in it this year, we can sit back, relax, and watch the show. We'd rather be in it, of course, but we can watch the show and just appreciate these guys for what they do and who they are.
That's a silver lining.
It's always looking for the silver lining. It's what we do. But I want to wish you happy Valentine's Day, fun at the Super Bowl. May your team win. And know in my book, you're already the champion winning Warriors. I love what you guys are doing. You're doing fabulous. I so appreciate you joining me. If there's anything you want me to do a live stream on, we'll meet in 2 weeks. I'm happy to
Janice says,
take
"Great
suggestions.
seeing you. Thank you so much, and thank you to your daughter."
Oh, that's so nice of you, Janice, and so nice of you to think of her as well. I wish I could see you guys. I'm so glad you can see me. I wish I could see you, but I love hearing from you, and I do feel like we're together.
Tom Linehan said, "Excellent podcast, Debbie. Thank you as always." And Flora says, "I'm taking care of Heart for years to come and be happy and to be alive. Go Buccaneers." And Christina says, "Thank you, ladies."
That is so great. And I love the fact that we're all in this together. We're all walking the walk, talking the talk, and we're making it fun at the same time. So go you. Have a great 2 weeks. Have a great night tonight. And I will see you soon. Take care, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Have a great night.